Hey everyone, this is the second video in the PC guide series, and I'm going to be going over some second PC shapes. So generally, we like to break these into two different groups, ones which use T and ones which don't use T. So here's some background information before we get into the shapes. After completing your first perfect clear, you'll be left with 4 pieces from your second bag, and 6 pieces from the third bag to fill in the rest. Due to parity reasons, having a T in your remaining 4 pieces of your second bag will give you a higher chance to PC due to how parity functions in stacking. Given that you have a T piece in your next 4 pieces, you can almost guarantee yourself a second PC. For almost all piece combinations, you'll only need to learn 10 different shapes, and all of these have solutions that are pretty easy to find. There are a few shapes at the end that you can't get with PCO and Gray system that I'll cover later, and these all also have a pretty good chance to PC. So let's get right into it. Here's the first shape, and you sort of have this tub shape. You can fill in this area with TZ or TS, and then using the remaining pieces, you fill in this 4x4 area. Generally, you want to be using S and Z in your piece queue, in your solution, because then you'll be left with O for your third PC, and saving O for your third PC is always a good thing, because saving S and Z leads to much lower chances of you getting your third PC. Here's the second shape. What this shape does is that it locks T and O, so this remaining 4x4 area you can solve with IJLS or IJLZ. If you have L and J early enough, you can actually fill this 4x4 area with LJSZ, which will save I for your third PC instead of S and Z. And this doesn't happen that often, but if you see the opportunity to do this, please do, because saving I is a lot better than saving S and Z. Another thing to note is that TILO or TIJO has its own shapes which have a 100% solve chance, and often these will save better pieces than S or Z. Here's the third shape with T, and this has a 100% chance to PC. It only has 2 solutions, and it really depends on when you get your T. If you get it late, you do this solution, and if you get it early, you do this solution. Also, if you have a queue like TJSO, using TJS, you can build the same tub shape like here, and then hold O, and this also has a pretty good chance to PC, but you get a better, you can save better pieces for your third PC. Okay, here's the fourth shape that you can build with T. This has only 2 solutions. Ideally, you would like to do this solution, because this saves O, which is always a good thing. But given that you can't save O, you can do this solution, which will save S instead. And this shape covers most of the other piece queues that you can't get with PCO, but you can with Gray system. This has 6 solutions, and here they are. And I also put which piece they save underneath. Alright, so without T, this is the first shape. It's got a pretty good chance of PC at 95%. This shape locks I and O in place. So I always goes here, O always goes here. So these are all of the solutions, and these can all be mirrored. These will save LJ, and these will save S or Z. Now, here are a few other things that you can take advantage of. If you build this shape, but on the other side, you can actually save O if you have early ZS, as you can see here. And if you get early LJO, you can actually do this solution, which saves T, which is also a pretty good option. This is the worst PC shape out of all of these. If you get T last, you cannot PC. But for this shape, S and O are always in the same places, and there's only 3 solutions. Often you will be saving Z, which is not good, and the last one saves I, which is not that bad actually. So suppose you get L or JSZO. There's a different shape that you can use which has a higher chance to PC. The solutions are more difficult to spot, but it's a better shape. But if you're just doing PCs in like a versus match, this shape is probably good enough. Alright, here's the third shape without T, and these are some ways of building it. There's only 3 solutions, but you've got a good chance to save T. S will always be in the same place, L will always be in the same place. And here are the 3 solutions that you need to know. Here's the 4th shape without T. There's 11 solutions for this case. There's not a whole lot you can do except for learning them. But here I've sort of organized them into 2 different categories here. And here's the 5th shape without T. This is sort of like Jaws, but you're missing this and you're also missing that. So these 6 solutions at the top are all you need, but these 2 shapes at the bottom will give you a chance to get an extra T-spin. So if you're doing something like Blitz mode or Ultra mode on JStress, these are shapes that might be worth looking at. So here's an alternate shape when you have JSZO, or I guess IJSO as well. This shape has 10 solutions and a 94% chance to PC. Here again, I've sort of organized them like this and shown what pieces they save. So there's ones which just finish this shape with JS. You can also complete the rectangle differently, like you can here. There's a few which do this horizontal I skim. Both of these will save L. And then here are a bunch of other weird solutions that you can do. Here's some alternative shapes for TILO or TIJO, I guess, as well. This is a pretty easy one to remember. This only has 2 solutions that you need to know. One will save Z and one will save L. But from Harddrop Wiki, they recommend this shape. And this will save almost any shape, any piece except for L or T. This shape is also 100% and has a very good chance of saving O or T, which will lead you to a good third PC. And here are a few other shapes which have T. This has the 100% chance to PC, but will always leave you with an extra S or Z, which isn't always ideal. And here are 2 solutions. Say for instance you PC with Gray System or MKO, and solve with ILJO or JLZO, you might get left with a piece queue like these. But making this shape, you can fill in this middle section, so like this area, with IO, leaving TLJSZ for the right 4x4, or fill in the middle section with S and Z, and this will leave TILJO for the right 4x4. So this has 35 solutions, and it's like a 98% PC chance. I'm not sure if I'm remembering that correctly, but yeah, 35 solutions for this case. Most of them are basically duplicates though. Alright, so this is the part where we go over the resources that I used to make this thing, this presentation. This is Knewjade's website, and this is the person who compiled most of these shapes. four.lol has organized these shapes and solutions in this link. Harddrop Wiki has some different shapes from what I recommended in this video, but these 2 links can be pretty useful for your second PC. And this is Jimothy's PC research, where he goes over shapes which can save T or O for your third PC. This is still work in progress, but you might see some pretty good shapes of this, and then you can increase your chance of getting O or T for your third PC. Anyway, that's about it for this video. See you in the next video.